Constipated, but excited.
I feel like the do it live joke is less funny now.
Yeah, well, it's old on top of so many other things.
It's old, yes.
You know?
Right.
Like it's just a pyramid of wrong.
And he's a monster person.
Monster person extreme.
Oh, we're live. We're so live.
There's a time when adding monster extreme to anything made it so much better. Remember extreme? There was extreme Mountain Dew.
Extreme everything. All the things.
I bought some it wasn't called extreme, but like the best kind of Drano the other day.
Ooh.
And it was next to like two other kinds of Drano that seemed good also. But then there was like extra strength. So I was like, well, I want the best.
Yeah,
that's
why would
that's
you
what
know
they
the
do.
difference? That's what they do. I do that with dishwasher pods.
Right.
I always look at the ingredients and I'm like, okay, what's the difference?
There's like the top there's like 3 layers of dishwasher pods.
Oh,
and there's like the top one has the 3 ingredients with like the little power ball in the middle. Like, why would I not want my dishes that clean?
Well, this is one of the worst things about modern branding is that they decided they had to differentiate each brand into 17 different versions to trick people into buying them.
Well, it's like when they had a concentrated dish soap and then everything was concentrated. The worst ones are laundry pods or laundry detergent because what they do is they make it super condensed. So you actually don't need to use as much as they say you need to use because it actually never washes completely out if you use too much.
Liquid laundry detergent.
Me too.
But I don't use a cap. I use enough to cover a little bit more than the bottom of the cap. Like there's, when you fill the cap, there's the little lines that tell you. Like I basically use half of what's recommended.
All right, you guys ready to go?
That explains a lot.
Yes.
Ready.
What does that mean?
Just
Here we go. 3, 2. Daily Tech News Show is powered by you. To find out more and help keep the show running strong, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, December 4th, 2017 from DTNS headquarters in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Merritt.
And from Studio Feline at the Beach, I am Sarah Lane.
And from Studio Fiberglass in San Francisco, I'm Veronica Belmont.
You're literally surrounded by fiberglass right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's yellow. And it's all yellow.
I'm probably going to die in here alone.
Please, someone send help. Or an air filter. Roger Chang is here as well to produce the show. Roger, thank you so much.
I am welcome.
Let's start with a few tech things you should know. Tom's Guide tested 7 phones to see how fast they recharged using fast charge. How fast is fast charge? Well, best performer was the OnePlus 5T, charging 59% in 30 minutes and 93% in 60 minutes, like just over an hour to get 100%. LG V30 was second, followed by the iPhone 10. The rest of the pack went this way: iPhone 8, 8 Plus, Pixel 2, and Galaxy Note 8 at the end of the group. If you want to know what the Note 8 was at the bottom end, 35% charged in 30 minutes and 74% in an hour, so still not too bad.
Cboe Global Markets said it will begin trading Bitcoin futures on December 10th, more than a week before the world's largest futures exchange, CME Group, launches its market December 18th. Both markets received approval from the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
A proposed class action lawsuit against mattress maker Casper alleges the company violated the U.S. Electronic Communications Privacy Act by using code from Navistone that supposedly collected keystrokes entered in forms, even if the form was never submitted. Navistone says it takes privacy law seriously and does not do things like link email addresses to personal info.
How do they sleep at night? Get it? Because mattress.
Ooh.
Now here are some more top stories. Kick us off, Veronica.
Facebook launched Messenger Kids on iOS in the U.S. Monday. The app lets children under age 13 do text and video chat with contacts approved by their parents. Proactive filters attempt to stop nudity, sexual content, or violence, and a dedicated support team responds to any flagged content. A manually filtered version of the Giphy search engine is also integrated into the app. A version for Android is coming soon.
Facebook worked really hard with the FTC, they say, particularly, to make sure they didn't screw this up. Because a messenger app for kids sounds horrible. So a lot of things to like about this. It does not immediately convert the kids to a Facebook account once they reach age 13.
Age 13.
And, you know, it doesn't push them to do that. They only can make friends with contacts that are parental approved. One weirdness is the parents have to be contacts with the other friend's parent.
Oh, interesting.
To make that contact, which is another bulwark here. They've got the bot looking out for the weird stuff. I don't know. I feel like maybe this is something that kids want to do, and this is a good way to do it. But will the kids use it? I don't know.
Is it too soon to be teaching this kind of behavior? That's what I want to know. I know it's under age 13. These kids are probably already having a fair amount of screen time. I'm not a parent. I know there's very differing opinions on what an appropriate amount of screen or device time is from household to household. But is this kind of like encouraging that behavior at a very early age to be communicating on that level, or is that stuff happening already?
I mean, I think the only reason it wouldn't be happening so much on Messenger up until this point is because, you know, unless you lie about your age, you're not supposed to have a Facebook account when you're under 13. I kind of like the idea of the parents needing to know the other parents. It's sort of like when I was a kid, my mom would be like, well, I'm going to call Julie's mom and just make sure she's going to be there if you're going over to her house kind of thing. You know, I mean, it's not a perfect system, but I mean, Facebook wants to figure out how to get these young people in some sort of an account early on.
Although I know my parents didn't want to be friends with all my friends' parents.
Yeah,
I mean,
Roger, really know that. Yeah,
Roger, you're the parent here. Is this something you would see letting your daughter do, or you're like, no, let's just wait till she's 13?
No, I would not let her use it. It'd be one of those things. If she did use it, I'd need to be next to her. But definitely not something I would let kids autopilot on, even in the back of the car on a long road trip.
Yeah.
Broadcom took the first step towards a hostile takeover of Qualcomm Monday, announcing a list of 11 nominees for Qualcomm's board of directors. Qualcomm rejected Broadcom's acquisition offer last month. Qualcomm shareholders can vote on Broadcom's slate of nominees at Qualcomm's annual meeting March 6th.
This all makes sense. Broadcom wants to have Qualcomm's business to broaden out into the various markets of embedded processors and mobile processors. Qualcomm actually has some good automotive stuff, and that would fit in with Broadcom's profile as they continue to work to acquire NXP. So this all makes sense from the Broadcom side. I also see why Qualcomm's like, no, we don't want to be part of you. We think we can be the people acquiring other companies. I'm sorry, Qualcomm is acquiring NXP, which is what Broadcom would get if they got Qualcomm. So anyway, long story short, yeah, no means no until you submit a new slate of directors.
Was because Qualcomm felt that Broadcom considered them undervalued.
Yeah, that's what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and I think we knew this wasn't going to be the end of the story just yet. But I find this, I don't know why, I get every time I hear about this story, I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen next? Like, it's weirdly exciting to me.
Yeah, I don't think Qualcomm thinks that Broadcom can afford the price they think they're worth, if that makes any sense. More than $1.3 million has been transacted on CryptoKitties, a game that uses the Ethereum blockchain to trade virtual kittens.
Yes!
Several kittens have reportedly sold for around 50 Ether. That's worth about $23,000. They have something.
What am I doing with my life? Where did I go wrong?
They have something called the Genesis kitten. These are the kittens made by the game. You can create your own kittens. I'll get to that in a second. But when the game makes them, which is only for limited time periods, those are worth more. There was a Genesis kitten sold for 246 Ether. It's about $113,000 worth of Ether. The kittens are not stored on a central server, right? It's on the blockchain. So even if the game makers went away, theoretically, you'd still own your kittens. There were a set of 5 Ethereum contracts written for Axiom Zen. They're the folks that are operating the game. Apparently, 15% of the Ethereum network traffic is dedicated to the game, or at least at a high point recently it was.
15% of Ethereum traffic?
15%. 15%. Yes. Uh-huh. That was the number.
Wow.
15. Kittens can be sold or bred to create new kittens. You get paid if someone breeds with your kitten, and then they get to keep the kitten that results from combining the two kittens. I mean, they have kind of a DNA thing that allows traits to be passed on,
Of course.
so that each kitten has a unique set of characteristics.
This is the thing that has gotten me to understand Ethereum the most. This story, now it's in terms I understand, which is good. I had a really good idea for a Bitcoin mining operation. I'm sure some of you have seen Bodega has her clever pet that she uses for eating her dinner at night. She has to hit the Simon Says buttons and it releases food. Like that right there, she is actually mining Bitcoin. That is what that does. Those actions. Put that
Really?
together. No, not really.
Oh.
But
I was like, that's amazing. The animals can do it for us.
Every
that's
time.
my $1 million idea, my $1 billion idea, my 1 Bitcoin idea. There you go.
Yeah,
Make
is
it
that
happen.
you hook up mining to the dog treadmill? Essentially, yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that I love the idea of CryptoKitties, you know, the whole thing just sounds like people trying to make cryptocurrency more internet friendly and, you know, add cats to it. And a lot of people go like, ooh, I want to do that.
At 15% of Ethereum traffic, it's working.
Yeah. Axiom Zen thought exactly what you just said, Sarah. They're like, let's add kittens. You know, internet loves kittens. And the internet's like, yes, we definitely love kittens.
This is now relatable.
Yeah.
Neil Young launched the Neil Young Archive, containing almost all of his entire back catalog of music, which listeners can enjoy in high-quality format using Young's Extreme Music service. The catalog is available for free listening until June 30th, after which subscriptions will be available, though no price was announced. Extreme delivers the highest quality audio that a user's bandwidth allows.
So Neil Young's one of those guys who says music doesn't sound good enough at MP3, and I want to help save high-quality music. So he created Pono, which was a music player and a service, and then that didn't work, so he retired the player. Now he's got the service, and he wants to make it work better for people. And I think he's onto something with this adaptive stream, so that it says, look, whatever your bandwidth is, we'll give you the highest quality music on that bandwidth that we could, up to like super high quality, high resolution audio.
Well, I mean, Neil Young also very prolific, lots of music.
Sure.
But once this turns into a subscription, and I know there's not a price announced, yeah, kind of a hard sell unless there's other artists that I'm also.
Yeah, I don't know if there's even one artist that I'd love that I would do this for.
Me either.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Young probably wouldn't be my pick, although I think he's great. But like, even my most favorite artists, like if Rihanna has her own music service, I'm like, I'll just listen to you on Apple Music.
Hey, my. What are you guys talking about? I don't think it's going to stay Neil Young all the way until June.
I can't use this anymore.
No, my guess is the idea is you make this free till June so people try it. You get some usage numbers. Then you go to other artists or you go to labels and say, hey, get in the pool. You know, forget Tidal. You want to get paid, you know, for high quality music? Here you go. Join in with us. In fact, that would be the killer alignment, is if Jay-Z joined Neil Young on Extreme Music and merged Tidal into it. That would just be a powerhouse. I think that could actually work.
Well, and I know a lot of people who really care about good audio listening will disagree with me, but I don't know. I mean, I stream my music from Apple Music via Bluetooth in my car speakers, turn it up really loud. Like, I don't know the difference. I wonder how
Neil Young wants to teach you
that.
the difference, Sarah.
What?
He wants to teach you.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the model of highest quality audio is harder and harder to prove because people are just used to hearing audio at a variety of different, compression settings. And
I mean, yeah, I used to think about this a lot more when I used to work with Patrick Norton, because he's so dialed into this, and I went to school for audio, and so we used to totally nerd out on this stuff. And now I'm so used to Spotify. I have a pretty good pair of headphones. I know this is somewhere Patrick Norton is like hearing, there's a bell ringing. He's like, someone's talking about low fidelity audio and not caring about the best possible sound quality. But you just get used to it, I guess. And unless you're the type of person who still has records and, really good headphones and wants to have that ultimate experience, I just listen for fun and convenience. And maybe that's the way things are going. There will always be a segment of people who want the best possible sound quality, and there will always be options for those people.
Yeah, and then maybe this is the one. Maybe this is going to be the leading edge for the audiophile.
There you go.
Some updates about Amazon rolling out in Australia. The company said it will start taking orders in Australia December 5th, that's tomorrow, with free shipping nationwide. Shipping times, though, will be up to 3 days. That's in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Canberra, and as long as 10 days to some remote areas. Amazon Prime will also not begin taking signups in Australia until mid-2018.
Yeah, that's so they're just opening up their warehouses there.
I had no idea that you could not do that in Australia.
You can order from Australia. And in fact, Australians, I think, can order from Australians on Amazon. But it's kind of a crazy shipping situation because Amazon didn't have a warehouse in Australia. So it would have to leave the country and come back, I think. Ooh. May have that part wrong. But yeah, now like Amazon has the warehouse in Australia. Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Good for them. Good, except I guess for the local people in Australia.
Well, it's huge because yeah, now Amazon is having to do a whole PR campaign to say we're going to bring jobs. Don't worry, even though we're going to run all of your businesses out. We promise we'll employ some of you in our huge warehouses.
But also, I mean, if you live in a remote area of Australia, and people do, if it's going to take up to 10 days, the free shipping is a nice touch.
Yeah, good way to get people on board. What were you going to say, Roger?
Oh, no, I was just like, Amazon's rollout was been highly anticipated in Australia for the past year and a half, ever since they announced it. There's some early griping about pricing, but that's just because there's, it's the initial set of products and wares that are being sold. So I say give it some time, but a lot of people are really hoping not having to pay overseas shipping to get something off Amazon.
Yeah. Hey, folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, subscribe to dailytechheadlines.com. It's a podcast. It's an Echo flash briefing on the Amazon Echo. It's on the Google Home. It's in the Anchor app where you can choose even which stories in the headlines you want to listen to. You can applaud. You can call in. It's all there, and you can find it to subscribe at dailytechheadlines.com. All right, so last Wednesday, Anil Dash wrote a Medium post called Underscores Optimization and Arms Races. Now, Anil Dash is the CEO of Fog Creek Software right now, but he was one of the pioneers of blogging with TypePad and movable type. And so he was recalling those early days of blogging in this post, noting that back in the early aughts, people thought URLs with article titles might rank better in Google. This was back when Google didn't say anything about how they ranked anything. You couldn't use spaces in a URL, so people started using underscores. At least Anil Dash and TypePad started using underscores. But WordPress started using hyphens. And there was some friendly debate over that for a while. Then, in the summer of 2005, Matt Cutts, working for Google, wrote, "For URLs in Google, I would recommend using dashes." And the downfall of Western civilization began, according to Anil Dash. No, he goes on to explain that as everybody decided to change to dashes, which he really meant hyphens, Anil Dash started to feel like this is a bad move. We shouldn't start adapting our content. I know it's just hyphens and dashes, but we shouldn't adapt our content to please Google.
It's like pandering almost to the algorithm, which is kind of fascinating because as Anil writes in his article, back in the day, like blog posts were numbered. So it would be like a whole list of long numbers. And then they were like, okay, we can make this look a little bit better by categorizing it by year and then month and then date and then title. And then it was figuring out what titles looked the best. And then it started becoming this idea around how do we enable users to use search engines to find our content the best? It's about title and subtitle and headers and what the URL actually is and all these different factors. But it was very much like we don't really know. We're just kind of trying things out. And in the articles that Matt would post, there'd be like little hints about what maybe how the SEO was working and what Google was looking for in these articles in order to figure out page rank and figure out what results to prioritize. And suddenly it was like, okay, underscores, I guess, are now the thing. Like everybody has to change to underscores if you want
dashes.
a fighting chance. Oh, it was
dashes were the thing, and the people with underscores were like,
yeah. And so they had to change to dashes, hyphens. Yeah.
And it sounds like, I mean, that's the point that Anil Dash is making, is that, having a vague sort of like Google saying, we recommend dashes, and being like, but why? What's the good reason for that? Do we change our entire format not knowing how your algorithm works? Which is something that we all still deal with to this day.
Well, I mean, even think about back to 2011 with the Google Panda stuff, and suddenly the algorithm completely changed again, and everybody had to refigure out how to recategorize their blog posts and figure out what search terms to use and things. I was working at Mahalo at the time, which was technically a competitive search engine product, and it was like everything could have broken in that instance, and did. And so it was like Google just decides these things, and then everybody has to dance the dance if they want to remain profitable or discoverable.
And that's what Anil is pointing out in this article. As much as I would like to spend the next 10 minutes making jokes about how Anil Dash was against dashes, his point is bigger than that. His point is that yes, a dash or a hyphen, who really cares? A hyphen or an underscore, who really cares? But at that point, Google went from indexing the web as it was to dictating how the web worked.
To driving it, yeah.
And it was a small change, but more changes came after that. It set the precedent of we should adapt our content in order to make it work on Google. And he talks about how the community then went from people who just wanted folks to find their posts and read them, or maybe play some pranks like Google bombs, to marketers really creating an industry to game the system.
An entire industry.
Yes. Yeah. To what we now have with trolls and harassers and activists, essentially trying to change what looks to be popular.
Yeah, it's crazy to me sometimes when I think about how there is an entire, marketing arm of the industry around gaming SEO and figuring that out, and experts in that field. And it seems like almost unknowable to me, even as a person who works in technology sometimes. But yeah, it's really, that's the way it is now. And it's kind of sad to me that we have to kind of dance that dance. And on one side, it makes things more convenient because sometimes better content, the more reputable or the better sources hopefully float to the surface, though that is not always the case. And Google had that problem big time, especially with Google Home and picking which excerpts it reads from different news sources based on questions it's being asked. We saw a big problem around that. But at the same time, like, it doesn't always give the little guys an opportunity to have their content be brought to the fore. So it's like a weird balancing act. And I don't know if Google has it figured out. I think the people creating content certainly don't have it 100% figured out.
Well, it is one of the better arguments against Google's market position because it's a matter of leverage. You don't care about underscores or hyphens if Google is not so compelling as an ad source for early blogs, and none of this gets started. The reason that there is such a community driven to game the SEO system is because Google is where you win or lose. If you're not seen on Google, you're not seen anymore, even in the United States where it's not as big as in the EU. So you don't have a lot of leverage to buck the system. I mean, it's one thing, Anil ends up by saying, we've got to encourage today's newer creative communities in media and tech and culture to not constrain what they're doing to conform to the dictates of an opaque, unknowable algorithm, which is easy to say, but it's really hard when if you don't do that, you might lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think you totally hit the nail on the head. It is very easy to say that, but it's very hard to do.
Yeah, without the leverage to force Google to change their ways.
Yeah, if you're a startup and you haven't figured out how to become findable in a sea of other companies doing similar things. Like, your investors aren't going to care if you say, I'm not playing Google's game. They're going to say, no, you do everything it takes to come to the top of the search headings. Like,
yeah, like rising above the hyphen thing is like, nobody.
Yeah, it's like, we're not interested in that. Yeah, we don't really care about your fight with Google on a moral basis.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a money game, and I don't know how we get around that.
I know this goes back to the way file naming had to be, where you had to use an underscore, but underscores are just cooler looking.
I agree.
Always felt that way. Still use them.
I'm with you, Neil Dash.
Oh, you're not winning any favors from that quarter.
Just kidding.
Yeah, even with file naming now, I think Sarah was talking about this a little bit earlier in the pre-show too. Like, I still name all my files with underscores, even though you can use spaces in OS 10.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but I still put underscores in all my file names.
No, totally. I do that too.
Old habits die hard.
Hey, thanks to everybody who participates in our subreddit. You can submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com and at facebook.com/groups/dailytechnewsshow.
Let's check in with Chris Christensen at Amateur Traveler about a software bug that made Christmas both great and empty for travel.
This is Chris Christensen from Amateur Traveler with another Tech in Travel Minute. I saw a story in flyertalk.com this week. Those of you who work in software like me know that bugs happen, glitches happen, and they often have unintended consequences and sometimes rather humorous consequences in a certain light. As this overlaps travel this week, American Airlines flight assessment app had a bug, and the bug resulted in all of American Airlines pilots being assigned leave over the Christmas week. That means that over 15,000 flights are scheduled to take off without a pilot. Unfortunately for the airline, this comes when the union has been trying to get increased holiday pay. And so when they asked pilots to come and work anyway, a lot of them were saying no. Last I saw, there was good news. They were down to hundreds of flights without a pilot. I'm Chris Christensen from Amateur Traveler.
Because holiday travel is a breeze otherwise.
That's way worse than I had even initially heard. I heard that many pilots had double booked for the holiday season. But he's saying here, all of the pilots?
All of the American Airlines.
All the American Airlines.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, specifically American Airlines. That's crazy.
Yeah, they had, well, I don't know how many days it was, but there were at least a day where there was no one scheduled.
I'm taking a train to Tahoe. That's my trip. No flying for me, thanks.
I'm just not going to leave the house. That's going to be my trip.
Stay home, never leave. That's the solution.
All right, let's check and see what's in the mailbag.
Jim writes, approximately 15 months ago, signed up for Google Fi, purchased a Nexus 5X from them at the same time. I've dutifully paid $5 per month for 5 phone protection since this purchase. Recently, fingerprint reader stopped working. Many hours with customer support, doing 2 factory wipes, the whole thing. They finally agreed, phone not working properly. Since I purchased phone protection, I thought they'd just send me another phone, but I was shocked when they told me now they were going to give me a credit of about $100 towards buying a new Google phone. I need a phone. It's going to cost me more than that, $400, $500 to replace the 5X. $100, $150 won't do it. I've been paying $5 a month, so now I feel like I was ripped off. He points to a Reddit post, or a Reddit thread rather, where other people are complaining about the same thing. So he says to the DTNS community, do you have any advice for me? Is this type of treatment standard?
Yeah. What it seems like people are suspecting here is that Google doesn't have any more Nexus 5Xs, so they can't make good on the replacement promise. Knowing that if you were to take them to court, what would likely happen is a judge would award damages to you in the amount of around $100, is their guess. They're going to give you a credit of around $100 and say, look, we'll just skip that step and we'll give everybody a credit here, especially because the 5X is a couple of years old now. But that is not going to change the fact that Jim and other people like him need a phone. The $100 is great and all, but maybe they don't have another $400 to skip out on a phone, and you can't buy a Nexus 5X anymore unless you buy it used, and the credit isn't going to be worked for that, so they need the cash, but that's less than $100. So yeah, I'm curious beyond, hey, everybody get together and do a class action or something like that. Is there anything practical that could help Jim? Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com.
the whole $5 a month thing, that would get me as well.
Yeah,
because it's like I had insurance. Come on, I deserve a new phone.
or
Maybe the 5X isn't
my
available anymore, but like, what's a comparable phone?
Yeah, just give me back everything I paid for insurance then, which is not the way insurance works, right? And that's not Google can't do that because they probably weren't collecting the $5. $5 was probably going into an insurance fund. So, Veronica, you just look like, yeah.
I don't know. This is reminding me of a problem my mother-in-law is dealing with her internet service. So, which is very frustrating. That's for a topic for another day.
Well, you'll be back another day, thank goodness. And you can find Veronica other places as well, right?
Yes, irlpodcast.org. Still working on new episodes for season 2, which is launching on January 8th. Very excited. New show, new episodes for the new year. And of course, Sword and Laser at swordandlaser.com with Mr. Tom Merritt. 10 years and going strong. Yeah.
Reading California Bones right now and having a great time with it.
Yeah.
So check that out. Friends, patrons, we thank you for your support of the show. We know that, especially once you get into holiday time, sometimes the budget gets a little tight. So we extra appreciate every single person who supports the show right now. If you can't afford, we understand. Just tell folks about it. Spread the word. Tell people about dailytechnewsshow.com. And if you can't afford $1 a month, $12 a year or more, pick somebody up who's having a little difficulty, who feels bad. We get these emails from people like, I'm really sorry, I lost my job or whatever, I can't support. We never get mad at those people, but if you can help support us, now's your chance to come help someone out at patreon.com/DTNS.
Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Questions, comments, anything you want to tell us, we are listening. We're also live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 21:30 UTC at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. And our email address is dailytechnewsshow.com.
We'll be back tomorrow with Patrick Beja on the show, and we'll talk about more stuff then. We'll see you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I forgot to play the music.
I was like, that seems different.
Yep, that's why it was different. That's why I had so much time to talk about Patrick Beja.
Good show.
Yeah, that was a good show. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Keep it coming. You keep listening, we'll keep talking. That's our motto.
So our titles,
zip it, we will keep talking.
So our titles are Ethereal Kittens, Create Your Own Kittens, Somewhere Patrick Norton is Twitching, and Am Oz on. Get it? Am Oz, because Oz is the nickname for Australia.
Am Oz on.
Oh, yeah.
And Ozzy. Casper knows when you're sleeping. Wait, where's that from? Oh, Casper.
Casper, yeah.
Purina, Crypto Chow. Anyone? We love CryptoKitties. Amazon moves down under. That whole thing is a bubble. I'm waiting to burst. I tell you that right now.
What?
Anil Dash underscores cryptocurrencies. Anil Dash underscores the importance of Dash. Not that they'll go away. It's just, I think, overinflated. How does Casper sleep at night? CryptoKitties keep on rocking in the stream world.
Hey.
A nod to Neil Young and his music. Use underscores would be a shame if something were to happen. Ranking. Anil Dash hopes. Anil Dash dashes hope on dashes. Broadcom, it's not me, it's you. Com versus com.
Tomorrow's show will be a 20-minute apology for the puns.
Neil Young still
Never
says
apologize.
that's just noise.
Never apologize for puns.
What's in the URL? Dash against dash. Use underscore. Oh, wait. Rooting the internet. Rooting dash the dash internet.
Hyphen.
So vote.
I think it was a hyphen.
Oh, hyphen. Dash. I don't know.
My vote is one of the CryptoKitties ones for obvious reasons, but I can be swayed elsewhere. I like the Patrick Norton one too.
That's a band that doesn't need to be in high fidelity.
Hyphendelity, I think is what.
Sweet.
I'm sorry. Never apologize. All right, I need the title now.
Amazon is top.
That's funny.
Is that the last one though?
Well, it's the
Great
crowd
news.
favorite, Tom.
Yes, but this is not a democracy. No, I'm fine with that. I just didn't know if that was
Nothing else tickles my toes.
well, because Sarah liked the kitty ones. I kind of like.
But
the kitty
like,
ones
I
too.
mean, that's low hanging fruit for me. I'm always going to choose that.
Also, it's good for E SEO.
Only if you use dashes in the title. All right, it's done. That's done. That's all done. We've talked to Matt Cutts before. He used to be head of SEO. I think he still is at Google.
No, I don't think he's there anymore.
He's not. He used to have all sorts of great tricks on how to search for stuff on Google.
I don't know. Look him up on Wikipedia, but I don't think. I think I might be confusing him with someone else though. I don't remember. So let me see. When will the kitty bubble pop? Is number 1. Ethereal Kittens is number 2.
Ooh, ethereal kittens?
Yeah.
Ethereal Kittens.
Well, that's not
what it is, though.
That's different.
Create your own kittens.
Also,
You just
not-
want a kitten title, Tom.
No, I'm just looking at the votes now.
All
Since
right, I'll
we
go
decided
with
to
the
be so
long
democratic.
robot. Let's see. I'll actually pay attention to the titles and go look. Let's see. When will the kitty bubble pop? That's pretty funny. It's Ethereum Kittens. I think Amazon is pretty funny.
All right.
That's a good one.
On.
Yeah.
I know that's the one Roger liked.
Oh, he left. He left in 2017 to join the U.S. Digital Service.
Yeah. So
What is that?
I
Is
was
that like the
recalling
Peace Corps?
correctly. Yeah, but it was recent that he left. I didn't realize it was that recent. It was just this year. Amazon.
I remember then we're all.
I hate wearing my glasses, but the rundown was so much easier to read today.
Yeah, I was
Kind of just like pretending that I have 20/20 vision.
I remember that moment when I was like, I guess I'll try doing the show with my glasses on. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't make any mistakes reading because I couldn't see. Maybe I should do
Wait,
that.
do you drive that way without glasses?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I'm farsighted, so it's only the reading. That I
Me
need.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
So you won't see the stop sign. You see the stop sign until you get to it, then it's blurry.
You see the billboard far away, no problem.
Yeah. No, you see, I can read road signs and everything fine. It's it's like the nav on my phone. I couldn't read, so I wear these sometimes when I drive so that I can read nav. But if I know I'm not going to need to read anything actually inside of the car, I don't need them.
Well, I tried to get around it by increasing the text on Google Sheets to 125%, which helped.
Yeah.
Also helps, yeah.
Also helps, but like, it still wasn't like crisp.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you pass 35, your eyes start getting stiff.
Well, luckily I'm 29 forever, so
27 for me. I'm that's my favorite.
that's your
one.
forever
20
age.
Yeah, that's my
71.
forever
71.
age is 27.
Forever 71.
29 forever sounds like a really good store idea. Forever
Well, it's
29.
forever.
I felt like I knew enough. Like I didn't know as much as I know now, but I knew enough. Felt pretty good. And like
What
my body
year-
wasn't falling
oh,
apart.
Sorry. I shouldn't
Oh, it's
have asked
okay. I'm 35. It was when was it? I don't know how many years ago.
Whatever. You're
2009?
8, something like that.
that. Was it the year we started Sword and Laser? Is that what?
No, it was
kind of what I was going after.
I don't know.
What year did you start?
I
Sword
would
and
like
Laser?
to be.
2007.
Yeah.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Good run.
Yeah.
We just
Good
had our
work.
10-year-old birthday.
That's so great.
I know.
It's kind of
Pretty cool.
bananas.
That shiz is bananas.
N-A-S.
That is the second Gwen Stefani reference I've made today.
You
I
guys have been
actually
doing
listened to
East
that
Meets
song
West for
in my
longer.
car yesterday.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing East Meets
Still holds
West
up.
for 12 years.
I don't even. That's crazy.
Wow.
We've done it since I was at CNET. When I was at CNET.
We were both at CNET.
and then I left CNET.
And then we all left CNET.
Roger left first.
I left
then
first. I
Veronica.
left on Christmas, the week before Christmas.
But Raj, you weren't part of Buzz Out Loud at all. Totally different.
No, I was part of GameSpot Live.
Ooh,
It's the live that makes it exciting
great.
and incredibly hot with the lights on.
All right, I should head to work.
You are at work, but you have to go to other work.
I have to go look like I'm at work.
Stop actually working here and start looking like you're working somewhere.
What if you put like a mannequin in your place while you do the show at the desk?
That would be weird.
with a bot?
Yeah, they'd never know.
Did you get that to me yet? Did you get my email?
And it'll just be
We're
like
on time.
Veronica's most frequently pre-recorded answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just no. You know, have like a
Give me
text to
five.
speech engine in
Cool.
your
Ha ha.
voice,
LOL.
and the
Wait,
mannequin.
hold on just a second.
What would be cool is the mannequin will have a speaker where the mouth is. Oh, do I need to? What happened to Tom? Did he not like us?
We leave?
Tom's like,
We
bye.
did leave. So I
Yeah,
guess we're not. Are we not stream? You
I know.
control the
I'm still stream. I'm running the stream.
Okay.
So
So
I
you're
don't
the
know
boss.
if I need to.
Tom's back.
Merritt's
Yeah,
back.
no. So the audio version's gonna miss the last minute of what you said.
Oh.
I don't know what happened there.
Oh, we just asked about like, oh, where did Tom go?
Yeah.
I think I'm
So y'all in the audio version, you won't hear that. You'll just hear me going, "Whoa, well that was weird. Hold on."
Did Google say we just want to make sure it's you?
No, the window just disappeared. It just closed
Uh-oh.
itself.
Well, maybe
is-
we've reached singularity, and the search engine's finally figured out what's going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Flexing its muscles, twitching its toes.
It protects the person with the start and stop broadcast button. That's what it is, Roger. It's sacrificed me for your good,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
as it should be.
All
right. Veronica
we
was
went-
saying she had to go back to work, so we can probably let her go.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
Bye,
See you
Bye.
next week.
Veronica. Have a good
Bye.
week.
You too. Bye.
See
Bye.
you.
And I'm almost published here too. It was a quick publish today.
Publish on the hair. Publish on your hair.
Flipped bit from a cosmic ray, says Underbind. Yep. Probably.
I don't believe that can ever happen.
You don't believe that a cosmic ray could ever flip a bit. You don't think you think it's impossible. It would never happen ever.
I don't. Okay, I will not say it's impossible. I'll say it's improbable.
Flip a bit.
Yeah. No, it is improbable. I agree with you there.
A bit of what?
On your computer. Like a cosmic ray
okay.
hits your
That kind of
computer
bit.
and the processor changes a 0 into a 1.
There's a similar term for different events that happen throughout humanity. For helicopter pilots that fly into a combat zone, they call it the golden BB. It's the one small caliber rifle hit that hits the most important part on the helicopter.
Yeah.
The golden BB.
Golden BB, also one of my favorite pubs.
Do they do fish and chips?
Yeah. Well,
I have a hankering for fish and chips.
what do you guys think about just converting the show into a pub?
Into it.
Like
Yeah.
a gastropub or just a pub?
Well, it could be. I hadn't thought about gastropub. We could do that.
I mean,
'Cause
the
I
only
can do a
problem is that
gastropub.
if you're in a pub, you kind of want to drink a pint, and
Mhm.
midday is tough.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the gastropub is great because you get to eat.
Well, I'm thinking we instead of the show trying to get people to donate on Patreon, we say if you want to hear the show, come to the pub.
Oh, wait, is this running a restaurant kind of thing? Because you know how
And you have experience, Roger.
I know that's what everyone.
This idea could work.
I mean, there are definitely physical locations that host podcasts.
Oh yeah.
That
No,
are
we
part
could
of
in
the
all seriousness, we
deal,
could do that.
you know?
You're right.
You know, if you put in Arcadia, you get really cheap fiber with like symmetrical 100,
Probably cheaper retail space too.
and they're peacocks that run wild in the city.
Right. and that could be we could use that as our logo. No one would ever sue us for using a peacock as our logo.
Never.
Because we're in Arcadia. Why isn't NBC in Arcadia? Yeah. No, I just really like pubs. I don't really want to change the show that much, but
I like a good pub.
Yeah.
I do. Yep.
Big fan.
I like pub food. Again, I'm not a drinker, but pub food is good.
I love all of it. I love the wooden interior, the nice, comfy, dark place.
I don't actually like
beer,
the dark.
fish
It
and
just
chips.
reminds me of old people. Something I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm forever 71.
It's like that lamp with the green tint on it that they used to use back in the late 19th century, late 20th century for accountants and people who calculated stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I love that.
Oh, I hate those things. They just remind me of old
I think
people.
I want my retirement to be a pub.
You like run it?
No, just sit at it. I don't have to run it. It's work.
Well, at my favorite pub, if you want to call it a pub, Hanano, it's a casual pub.
Yeah.
Mr. Hanano, that's what I call him. I don't know his real name, but the guy who owns the place.
Yeah.
He has his little stool, and
Yeah.
when he's there, you can't sit there.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's where he sits.
Yeah.
And he does the crossword, New York Times crossword, and he kind of, he's friendly enough, but he's not talking to anybody, just kind of, observing. And I think Mr. Hanano has the life.
Right.
Because he just wanted to go and people watch and do his crossword, and now he can.
Yeah. Paco's Tacos. Paco stands at the front, greets people, not particularly friendly unless he really knows them, but he's not mean or anything. And then just sits and watches hockey or baseball or whatever in between. I'm like, it's pretty good. Like he owns the place, and then he sits at the front and is like, how many? 3. He makes somebody else go seat him. He doesn't do that. He's just watching the game.
He's got, he has support.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same, if you change it to more morning hours, it's like, I'd love to have a cafe, serve people coffee, say hello.
Well, okay. So my favorite place ever was Les Amis Cafe in Austin, Texas. It's gone now. They tore it down and made it a Starbucks. But it was a former Austin cab driver who served beer, wine, coffees, lattes, and like great food. So, and cheap, super cheap food. And you could just go there, sit there all day. I mean, that's honestly the ideal right there.
That's how I feel. I mean, I know there's more to it when you're running a business, but I'm like, play good music, hang out with the locals,
Yeah.
Be a barista, but you own the place. I love it.
You have a little stage where you do a podcast.
You guys have such a romanticized view of that life.
It's so true. Everyone I know who's ever worked in the food industry is like,
no,
yeah, no, and I believe me, I know that. I want the romanticized version to be true, though, Roger.
That's like every prize fighter or former soccer player or rugby player or pro sports. They open a bar or restaurant. They just hang out there.
I know. All right, folks. Well, we will probably not be turning the show into a pub or a cafe, unfortunately. But we will be back tomorrow with another show. So please join us then.
Join us, won't you?